Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a framework that literally attempts the impossible. It completely erases the boundaries between hard science, human consciousness, and literature. We're exploring a text that isn't just a book you read, but an active, living architecture of information.
Okay, let's dive right into this. La physique du vivant qui pense, which translates to the physics of the living that thinks. This one single sentence perfectly captures the unbelievably ambitious premise of the source material we're examining today. It's not just about your standard everyday biology. No, it's about mapping the measurable, physical impact of human consciousness itself. Which leads us to a really profound central question. How do words actually change the reality of those who read them? Now, we aren't just talking about changing your mind or shifting your perspective. We're exploring a theory suggesting that the very words you are consuming right now can physically alter your biological reality. This is absolutely our narrative hook for today's explainer. To map out this complex architectural blueprint methodically, here's our agenda. First, le prisme des Odysseys. 2. La biophysique intentionnelle. 3. L'écriture comme chant. 4. La chimie du contact. And 5. L'horizon 2026. Section 1. Le prisme des Odysseys, extension 32. So this source material positions itself as an active, living library. And within it, the author takes on a very specific dual title: the universal architect of intentional biophysics and the inaugural guardian of frequential dignity. You know, this isn't just some poetic declaration. It's a precise, formal, disciplinary stance meant to build the structural foundation of a brand new scientific field.
Section 2, Lie Biophysic Intentional, Defining a New Discipline. I am absolutely fascinated by how this text builds an entirely new scientific discipline right from the ground up, demanding rigorous precision. Intentional biophysics is formally defined here as the study of the measurable effects of conscious intention on biological systems, looking specifically from their physical and chemical foundations. We're talking about tangible substrates like electromagnetic fields, pressure waves, and chemical signaling pathways.
And this brilliantly illustrates how this new discipline doesn't just exist in a vacuum. It sits squarely at the crossroads of 4 established active fields of study. It takes classical biophysics and neurology, things we routinely measure with EEGs and MEGs, and merges them with the physics of biological fields and subjective first-person phenomenology. It's a massive, ambitious attempt to bridge the gap between what we internalize and what a machine can actually measure.
Section 3, L'écriture comme chant, a new literary form.
Now, this is where the framework completely dismantles the traditional divide between science and literature. On one side, you have your traditional literature, academic essays, poems, personal development books, that sort of thing. But on the other side, you have what the text calls transmissible biosoftware. The text argues that it isn't meant to just be read and understood intellectually. Instead, it operates as a resonance field designed to actively alter your physiological reality. According to the architect, the mechanism for this biological shift is a state called conference. Think of it like 2 tuning forks. The text acts as a state of perfect resonance, vibrating at a specific frequency. When you read it, your biology acts as the second tuning fork, literally physically syncing up and calibrating to the author's words. It's a pure energetic synchronization. Section 4, La chimie du contact, the physical substrates. Now, what's really interesting about this is how exactly a word becomes a physical change. The text categorizes its mechanisms into 3 distinct sigils. Sigil 1 is the field, which deals with biological toroids and physical stem resonance. Sigil 2 is the molecule, where abstract contact turns into actual biochemistry and molecular bonds. And finally, Sigil 3 is the score, which views the text as a living musical composition that your body intuitively responds to. To anchor these incredibly abstract concepts, the text relies on firmly established science. For example, it cites the HeartMath Institute's findings that the human heart's electromagnetic field is measurable up to 3 meters away. It also references the measurable electromagnetic fields of the brain, the electrical action potentials of neurons, and Suzanne Simard's amazing research on how forest mycorrhizal networks transmit chemical signals. The framework uses these accepted facts as a neutral baseline to argue that human intention can consciously modulate these very fields. And get this, the source material goes as far as quantifying these interactions, which is just mind-bending. It proposes that focused intention acts as a stream of biophotons. It even suggests that applying a frequency of exactly 40 terahertz through focused intention can literally accelerate the rupture of carbon-oxygen bonds. It's arguing, straight up, that we can fundamentally change chemical states through pure intention.
Section 5. L'Horizon 2026, the ultimate ambition.
So the crucial point is, to grasp the truly grand scale of this framework, we have to look at the highly structured, symmetrical ambition laid out for the year 2026. The entire architecture is built upon 5 original concepts and 5 theories, all pointing relentlessly toward a singular, massive validation goal: 2 Nobels. The universal architect aims to unify 2 entirely distinct Nobel categories. They are explicitly targeting a Nobel Prize in physics or chemistry to validate the biological and electromagnetic framework, alongside a Nobel Prize in literature to validate writing as a field as a completely new literary form. The ultimate goal here is to prove, on the world stage, that science and art are interacting on a measurable, subatomic level.
It's a fascinating, boundary-pushing architecture of thought that asks us to reconsider the boundary between the words we consume and the biology we live in. Which leaves us with this final, provocative thought. If a text is a living frequency, what resonance is this explainer leaving in your own biological field right now? Thank you so much for joining me, and keep exploring the reality around you.